Buying the right bass guitar can sometimes be a really daunting task, as there are a lot of options and choices out there. In this video I'm going to talk you through what you should be considering when buying a new bass so you're much better informed. I'll also write you out a checklist and some popular brands of basses. I'll put that on a PDF and you can download that in the description below this video. First of all, you need to decide what you can afford to pay for your bass so you have a ballpark figure. This will help rule out more expensive instruments and give you a more manageable list of basses to look at. Then decide whether you want to buy second-hand or new. You'll obviously get more for your money if you get a second-hand bass, but you'll need to know a little bit more about what you're looking for and to check you're getting a decent instrument. You might already have a good idea of what bass you want, but if not, you need to familiarise yourself with different types of basses. And what I'm talking about here is mainly about what pickups there are on the basses. You have probably all heard of J basses and P basses, and the J stands for jazz and the P stands for precision. And with these instruments, really you're referring to the pickup. There are other features like neck size, for example, that are different on these basses, but we're fundamentally talking about the pickups because that changes the sound of the instrument. This is a J bass or a jazz bass. It has two thin pickups which are spaced apart. It's got a bridge pickup near the bridge and a neck pickup which is near the end of the neck. You will almost always have the option to control the pickups individually, and they each produce a very different tone. So I'll play that for you now with the different pickup settings. This next bass is a P bass or a precision bass, and it has two fatter, shorter pickups which are next to each other. And this is what a P bass sounds like. You can also get basses that have the combination of both the J and the P bass pickups on them. This is a telly bass. And these basses were actually the original precision basses before Fender changed their name to telly basses. They have a single pickup and they sound fairly similar to a P bass. Then we have basses with soap bar pickups which look like this, and you'll find these on more modern basses, and these basses usually will have an active preamp built into the instrument too. It's also worth knowing about Music Man basses which have their own particular type of single pickup. These were the first basses to feature online active EQ and humbucking pickups. This leads directly to another thing to think about with your basses. Do you want active or a passive bass? If the bass is active, it has its own onboard preamp, so you can adjust the EQ without going over to your pedal board or to your amp. But on the flip side, passive basses are really known for their great fat and punchy sound. If you want a particular model of bass, sometimes you won't have the choice because they might come with a preamp already, but some basses like J basses often come with a choice of active or passive. But most modern basses will be active. One thing you can do if you're still unsure about what type of bass you want is to research the bass players whose sound you like, see what basses they're using, and this might give you more idea for yourself. Now that you know more information about different types of basses, it's time to head down to a music shop and try out some basses yourself. So the first thing, pick a bass in your price range and just have a play and see how it feels to you. Also put a strap on and put it around your neck and find out the weight and if it feels comfortable, because you might have it around your neck for hours on end at rehearsals or gigs. If you don't like the feel of the bass, then just put it down and pick up another one and try that. The colour of the bass, the finish and how it looks to you is obviously important, but make sure you don't pick that as the main reason for buying the bass. This might be the deciding factor if you've got a few instruments that you really like, and that's fine, but really sound and how it feels and plays are the most important thing about the bass. If the bass is second hand, then check it over for obvious signs of damage. Now you might not have really a good idea of what you're looking for here, but at least check that the tuning pegs all work and check there aren't any obvious signs of cracks on the neck or the headstock. You can also make sure there isn't any serious fret buzz when you're playing the instrument, and check for dead spots. And dead spots are where you play the note and it doesn't sound out as clearly as the other notes. So have a play along the neck and just check and see if there are any dead spots. Now if you're really not sure about this part of looking at a bass, then bring someone along who knows about basses who can help you out with this step. There are also a last few things you might want to consider when buying a bass. If you have particularly small hands or you're not an adult, then you might want to consider a short scale bass. And companies like Fender, Epiphone and Ibanez make short scale basses, so you might want to check these companies out. Now you might be drawn to the sound of a fretless bass. As the name suggests, they don't have any frets and you get a really different sound on the instrument. You can do slides and you can do vibrato. Now some of these fretless bass are lined, which means that they have lines painted on where the frets would be. These sometimes don't look as good, but they can really help you to play in tune. So a lot of people start on a fretted bass because it's easier to learn and then move to a fretless, but if you really love that sound, there's no reason not to get a fretless and start straight away. And remember that when you've got a fretless, if it's lined, then you're playing on the line, so your finger's doing what the fret would do. So on to brands of basses. There's so many brands out there. So what I've done, I've drawn up a list of the most popular brands that I think are good, and I'll also put some basses in there, some beginner basses. If you want this list along with the buyer's guide checklist, I've got that on a PDF and you can get that by clicking the link below in the description and I'll send that to you. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is number 3 in my Greg Talks series, so you might want to check out video number 1 and 2. I'll put a link up here now if you click on that. One's about reading music and the other's about techniques to help improve your bass playing. Remember to subscribe to Greg's Bass Shed here on YouTube, and you can do that by clicking the subscribe button, and please like this video if you enjoyed it. You can also comment below this video, and I always love to hear what you have to say. Have a look at the checklist, and if there's anything important you think I might have missed, then please write that below, or if you have any other suggestions that might help other people, then write that below in the comments. If you're interested in more bass resources and videos, then head over to gregsbassshed.com, that's my website, and you can also join the free members area there. So I'll put the link again to that in the description. This is Greg from Greg's Bass Shed. I'll see you in the next video.